Oh, Graham, we love watching you coax stories out of celebrities, but what is it about writing fictional yarns of your own that you love?
Well, do you know what? And you'll know this because you work in television. It's the fact that it's the only thing in my life that doesn't involve meetings.
Well, you know what they say, losers have meetings, winners have parties.
Love that.
It's good, right?
I see a tea towel in my future. I mean, even though the Norton show is my name over the door and, you know, I'm the one sitting on the chair, but a load of people work on that show and everyone has an opinion. And, you know, you don't want to be that guy. You don't want to kind of overrule everybody and go, no, I'm the anyway. Because actually, a lot of the time, they do know better than me. So the books are the only thing where it's just me. It's lovely just to be alone in a room, getting lost in those stories, getting lost in those characters.
And writing fiction is something that you've only started doing relatively recently, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wrote fiction when I was kind of young, when I was in my 20s and I was studying English at university and, you know, I was one of those people. But then I was kind of busy. I was out, I was drinking, I was working in restaurants. I didn't have time to write a book. And I'm so glad I didn't, in a way, because those books I think would have been quite cynical and kind of a bit smart-assy. And I don't think I've liked them.
Well, you were busy living life, collecting research for your stories.
Yeah. I mean, descriptions of hangovers are really good in my books, I think you find.
Frankie is Graham's fifth novel and follows the friendship of a young carer and an elderly woman who recounts her wild past, spanning from post-war Ireland to the chaos of New York in the 60s.
I loved Frankie, and she is the star of your story. Was she inspired by anyone you know?
Do you know what? A lot of people, because there's been old women in a lot of my books. She's in her 80s when we meet her. And a lot of people say to me, oh, you know, are these women based on your mother? And I would say they're not my mother, but they're sort of mother adjacent. There's a kind of a steeliness to Irish women of a certain age. Like my mother, she watches the show on a Friday night and I speak to her on a Saturday, and a good review will be, I thought it was all right, which suggests there's been a queue of people waiting to tell her how awful they thought it was. And then if it's a bad review, I get, how do you think it went? And that's when I know. That's when I know she did not like the show. So it's little wonder that I've grown up looking for the validation of strangers with that sort of parenting.
I know the feeling. Hey, tell me, there are some very saucy bits in this book. Yeah. How did you go making the audiobook and reading those parts out loud?
In this one, I was facing a wall. Okay. So it wasn't too bad. Normally what happens is you're reading that and you look up and there's some kind of bald, sweaty man with a moustache kind of staring through the glass at you. And you're just like, ugh. This is so rank. This is wrong on every level. Yeah. So this one wasn't so bad because I could forget there was someone sat over there.
Graham wrote the book while taping the 31st season of The Graham Norton Show, a series that consistently plays host to the best in the biz.
I started doing these chat shows in 1998. So the fact that in this last series, we could have kind of the starriest one we have ever had. We had Cher, Julia Roberts, Tom Hanks, and Timothée Chalamet.
Timothée Chalamet, he sings and dances.
Yes, he does. Try. It's blasphemous to say that on a couch with Cher.
We'd never had Julia Roberts before. Julia Roberts, in fact, had never done a UK talk show before. And I was nervous, but equally, I was an idiot because she's amazing. You know, she had charisma to burn. The audience loved her. And she was kind of the secret sauce on that couch.
Please say it's me.
It's you.
Okay.
Finally.
Is there anyone that you haven't had on yet?
I think we've never had Brad Pitt. We've never had Brad Pitt.
Oh.
So he's still on our to-do list.
Mine too.
And we've never had any of the royals. We've never had a William or a Kate or a Harry or a Meghan. So I would be quite interested to have, you know, either, you know, a couple of them. I doubt we'll get all four.
Oh, could you imagine if you did? They could thrash out their differences.
Yeah, and then get Adele to sing a nice sad song at the end. Perfect. Yeah.
Well, we don't have a sofa, but we do have a desk, and we would love to have you on it anytime you're in Australia.
A desk is very forgiving. I'm all in favour of a desk. I feel like a fool. I didn't think of it. Smart move, kids.
I would say, Frankie, it's such a beautiful, gentle book. It's out in bookstores on Tuesday, and Graham, what a legend he is.
I